And that's what's putting us in this place. We need people that are wearing jerseys that are saying, I'm here to work with anyone that wants to solve problems. And that's what I'm running to do. Work with literally anyone on the left, the right, the middle to address these problems. Look, we need to restore decency to our politics. I'm not here to speak negatively against the candidates that I'm running against. I'm sure that if they lived in my neighborhood, we'd be friends. We'd have the occasional garage beer. And that's how things should be. It's not the people, it's the system. We have a system that has captured folks with the special interest money and the party boss dynamic where they're not able to act in accordance with their own principles. When you take good people, you give them bad incentives, it leads to a bad result. And that's why we're in this dire situation that we're in our country right now. I want to talk about why 2026 is a year for this movement. I want to give you 4 numbers. 50%, 200,000, 2, and 15. Right now, 50% of the country identifies as independent. We have the numbers. It's at an all-time high. Party approval ratings are an all-time low. This is the year for us. 200,000 voters in our district, in the 1st district in Iowa, are registered independent, the largest group of voters in the district. Anybody that would be represented that's not an independent, our district would be misrepresented, in my view. 2, right now, the margin in the House is 2 seats. Just 2 independents could have a tremendous impact on day one in our politics. We would have a say in who the speaker is. We would have a say in the House rules, how the House is going to function. We could push for votes on simple things like term limits, campaign finance reform, things that all of us want. Getting to single issue bills. Right now we have these 3,000-page omnibus bills that no one even knows what's in them before they have to vote on them. 2 independents could really force that change. And then finally 15. Right now, out of 435 districts in the country, only 15 are toss-up competitive districts. And Iowa-01 is one of those. And when Iowa-01 sends an independent to Congress, it'll be the most important district in this country. Because of these numbers, there's a national movement taking place to support independent candidates. It's different than any year in the past. This year we launched the Independent Leadership Council, spearheaded by Senator Joe Manchin. There are fantastic candidates running around the country, just across many states. And this is a year for this movement to take place. We also have the Forward Party. I've been proud to earn their endorsement. They're doing great work to support independent candidates. This year is really the year for the movement. I also want to talk a little bit about our history. It seems like every 80 years we find ourselves in a crisis. You go back 250 years ago at the time of the revolution, we were going up against the most powerful military in the world. We united, we came together, and we earned our independence. You flash forward 80 years from there, and you're at the Civil War, one of the toughest times in our country's history. And on the other side of that, again, we unified, we became a better country. 80 years from there, you get to World War II. Our country came together, mobilized to defeat Nazi Germany, and we've probably never been stronger as a country. Again, now we're going forward another 80 years, and we're right here today. Unfortunately, the political parties are pushing to divide us rather than unify us, and this is where independent candidates can play a role in bringing this country back together to start solving these really serious problems. When Abraham Lincoln delivered the Gettysburg Address, he didn't say government of the party, by the party, for the party. He talked about government of the people, by the people, for the people, and that's what we need to get back to. We need to get back to representing the people of our district, not special interests, not party bosses. So now I want to talk about a few key issues, and then hopefully I think still have time for questions. First of all, the affordability crisis that we all know. We all see it, every politician talks about it, but the problem is no one's talking about how to actually solve it. They just want to say, things are too expensive, vote for me. Republicans ran on that in 2024 and won, now Democrats are looking to do that again. We've got a serious fiscal issue in our country. We're now at $40 trillion in debt, we're adding $2 trillion a year, and that's what's driving this affordability crisis. From the start of our country to 2009, 233 years it took us to get to $8 trillion in money supply. We've just added $8 trillion in the last 6 years. When you drop that kind of money into the system, everything's going to go up in cost. whether it's rent, groceries, the corn dog across the way, you name it. And that's what's driving this crisis, and we've got to get serious about this. If we don't, at some point it's going to become too late, and this is our moment to really make an impact. I want to talk about AI. I don't hear the parties talk about that a lot. I think they're, again, afraid of the special interest money to either come out against them, and that's a really serious issue that potentially is existential if we don't handle that properly. I look at how social media was handled. Both parties took the big money, they looked the other way, and nothing ever happened. If we do that I don't think we can afford to make that same mistake with AI, and our younger generation deserves it. Obviously, being here at the Iowa State Fair, I want to talk about ag. Again, I grew up on a family farm. Unfortunately, our farmers now are approaching a similar type crisis to the 1980s, and the politicians are playing political football with ag policy. Just last week, they failed to pass a new farm bill. It's just gone on for far too long. We need to have year-round E15. We need to go after the corporate ag monopolies, and we need to have a farm bill that's truly focused on our family farms. Again, our farmers are facing a crisis, and our politicians are holding them hostage. And they also need consistent trade policy. Now we have policy that shifts month to month, administration to administration. There's just no way for them to operate sustainably in that environment. Again, congressional reform, which I talked about earlier, we're at this moment where just a couple people could truly make an impact in getting, a vote on term limits. I'm not confident that they would, all the politicians want to talk about term limits. I don't know that they would vote for them. I would vote for them. I would push for a vote for them. Again, single issue bills, campaign finance reform, mandatory retirement ages for career politicians, all these things that 80 to 90% of Americans want. And this is where independents could really deliver. This is our opportunity to truly deliver on that. And then finally, healthcare. Healthcare, and that's a big driver of the affordability crisis. I feel that myself. We pay out of pocket for our own insurance, and it's become an incredible burden for our family. The parties, they just want to fight. They're not interested in actually solving the problem. It just comes down to getting in a room, being able to talk to each other. Simple things, price transparency, PBM reform, just the basic things that could really bring us together to address the issue. And instead, it's just all about fighting. This is the year for it. I want to close with talking about three of my favorite historical leaders. First of all, George Washington, our first independent president. Not a bad guy to have on your team. In his farewell address, he warned us about the dangers of political parties, that they would divide us, that they would usurp the power from the people. And we're living in that now 250 years later. I want to talk about Abraham Lincoln. A lot of people don't know this. When he ran for president the second term, he didn't run as a Republican. He left the Republican Party and ran for a second term. Finally, Teddy Roosevelt, another one of my favorite leaders, and three of the four of the people on Mount Rushmore. He also left the Republican Party to run for president. When we think about our great leaders, we don't think about what political party they're in. We think about their values, their principles, and how they led us. And that's what we need to get back to. We need to have leaders that are focused on doing what's best for the country, not focused on the parties. And that's what I'm here to do. Thank you so much for being here. Any questions? Oh, one thing I'll quickly add, when you're an independent candidate, I've been to 20 county fairs, right? I've toured the district, been in every county multiple times. When you go up to talk to somebody, you don't know who you're going to talk to, whether they're Republican, Democrat, Independent. There's no safe space. So when I go talk to people, I'm used to getting it from all sides, and that's what we should do. I feel like now a lot of our party politicians, they stick with the safe space, curated, groups of people to talk to. You need to be out talking to every person, because when you talk to real people, you see that where they're at on issues, it's all over the place. The parties want us to stay with these purity tests on 10 or 12 issues. That's just not the real world when you're out talking to real people. So we'd love to answer any questions. Yeah. Where I get information from constituents is being out every day talking to people. We were at a parade last night, been to 20 county fairs, countless community events. Like I said, there's no safe space for me to go to, right? There's no independent county meeting to attend. So one thing I'll tell you too, when I go to the county fairs, I actually talk to Republicans and Democrats at the booth that are working the booth. And some of the stories I've heard, you just wouldn't believe. I mean, they've invited me to their county party. They've complained about their candidates not coming and doing what I'm doing, talking to people. Some have told me that they're going to vote for me. I've had people running for, State House come up to me and say, what you're doing is the right thing, and I'm actually going to vote for you, though I'm running as a Democrat or Republican.
With that in mind, I think that's a little bit outdated for the digital age that we live in. Is there anything that you follow, like online, track data or anything like that, on what your constituents care about?
Well, we have a very active social media. I mean, actually, we're really proud of what we've done there. We had 1 million views in 30 days. Obviously, there's a heavy comment section, and I, as a candidate, actually get in there myself and participate in the comments. Again, we don't back down from anything.
When are we gonna
Yeah.
leave?
Saying that either party is addressing the AI, both sides are talking about data center or
What? I want to go sit there.
Great question. So just to repeat, the question is about talking about the parties. He thinks the parties are addressing AI. What I would say is we're seeing that at the state level. We're seeing that with governors. But when you look at the federal level, when you look at what's going on in Congress and the Senate, I don't see that happening. I see them being afraid. Now, not everybody, but I'm saying the establishment party leaders, which unfortunately, again, in today's environment, many of the members just have to follow what the party boss wants. Otherwise, they're going to be primaried in the next election, right? And so, and the reason for that, I think, is because they're afraid of the special interest money to come out after them.
so you find yourself being an independent candidate, if Republican endorsed by the forward party, and we haven't seen the states are taking thousands of dollars from the national government. How can you maintain your independence in Congress when you vote and not be swayed?
So just so I'm clear, so I've endorsed by the Forward Party. I received a donation from them, and so that I would not be truly independent because of that.
I'm asking how can you guarantee your independence?
Well, what I would tell you is I think they donated $5,000, which is a lot of money. It's not a small amount of money, but I'm not selling my vote for $5,000. I'm actually the largest donor to our campaign, and so I'm independent. I'm only doing this for the right reason, to represent people. I'm proud to be endorsed by Ford. I'm proud to have their support, but by no means am I bound to what they would want me to do. How can I guarantee it? Well, here's what I tell you. If you don't trust me, if you don't believe me, you probably shouldn't vote for me. And what I would tell people is, if you think the Republican Party is doing a good job right now, you should vote for Republicans. If you think the Democratic Party is the answer right now, you should vote for a Democrat. If you're not happy with either, you've got another option. And all I can tell you is I'm in this for the right reason. I'm not bought and paid for by anyone. And I don't know how I can guarantee that, but you got my word. Any last questions? Go back here.
So on the topic of AI, what is your plan if you get followed?
So back to AI, what's the plan? Number one, local control. I think, so in Clinton, Iowa, it's in our district, Clinton County, there's a massive project that was proposed. I went to the city council meeting there. It was tremendous. Every room was full. There was 3 hours of public comment. Tremendous community involvement in that. And that's where it needs to be, sit with our communities, sit with the people in our communities. And that's where we need to have representatives focused on the people, not on the special interest money. We clearly got to have guardrails. I think that's where, again, it's a tricky issue because there's a needle in the thread. I don't think we want to leave AI to China and Russia and other countries like that. We still want to be a leader in AI, but if our communities don't want data centers, we shouldn't have data centers. That's my stance. Well, thank you guys so much. I see time is up. I really appreciate all the questions, the engagement. It's been fantastic to be here with you guys today. Thank you.